The flexor group, the common sense of the flexor group is that because all of them have the same origin, which is the medial epicondyle of the humerus. Now the first one is the flexor carpo-ulnaris, start from the medial epicondyle of the humerus, and when it just stops here, we have 3 points here, which is the pisiform, hem, and the base of the fifth metacarpal. Stripping, cross fibers. When this muscle contracts, we have flexion and ulnar deviation. The best way to stretch this muscle is extension and radial deviation. The flexor carpo-ulnaris is synergist with extensor carpo-ulnaris. Is synergist and antagonist. Why they are synergist and antagonist? Because one does extension and the flexor carpo-ulnaris does flexion, but they are synergists because extensor carpo-ulnaris and flexor carpo-ulnaris working both together, they're going to do the ulnar deviation. So this would be the best way to find synergists and antagonists. Flexor carpo-ulnaris and extensor carpo-ulnaris. Our next muscle from the same area here, which is the, I'm going to bring medial epicondyle here, runs and goes to the base of the second and third metacarpal is extensor carpo-radialis. Extensor carpo-radialis, it's a little more in aspect if you can go in the other side. It's more lateral running because it goes to the base of the second and third here. So this muscle is going to do flexion and also ulnar deviation. Stripping of this muscle is in this direction and cross fiber in this direction. Now, when you contract this muscle, flexion and radial deviation, two stages, extension and ulnar deviation. The best muscle for synergies and antagonists of the flexor carpo-radialis can be extensor carpo-radialis. They are antagonists because flexor carpo-radialis does flexion, extensor carpo-radialis does extension. But they are synergies because both of them does radial deviation. And most likely, guys, we know that it's extensor carpo-radialis longus, not brevis. And the best way to see both those two muscles is that flexor carpo-radialis goes to the base of second and third, when on the other side, extensor carpo-radialis longus goes on the third, and brevis goes on the second. So both of them together support the same muscles on the front, which is the flexor carpo-radialis. And there we finish with the flexor carpo-radialis. We're moving on to the flexor digitorum superficialis. They have three heads, which is like the humeral head, ulnar head, and radius head. But we're going to keep it simple for our class. The origin is the same on the medial epicondyle of the humerus, and both goes all the way down to the middle shelf of the forefinger. What is the middle shelf of the four fingers? It's like, this is the proximal, this is the middle shelf. So this part. So this muscle runs from this area here, and when they spread down here, goes to the middle shelf. So it goes all the way up here. Middle shelf. So in the middle, 3, and the fourth one. Look at where they stop. Stop in the middle phalanges. So when this muscle contracts, definitely assists to the wrist flexion, but also at the same time helps also the proximal interphalanges flexion, which means not the distal, because it doesn't touch the distal. The proximal one does the flexion. So this most likely help us to do the loose fist flexion, not the real fist flexion. The loose fist, because it doesn't help to the distal phalanges joint. Stripping this muscle this direction, cross fiber. Now, if this muscle does assist to the flexion and also flexion on the phalanges, the best antagonist of this muscle is going to be extensor digitorum. Synergists, they can be either flexor carpo-radialis or flexor carpo-ulnaris for flexion. And then where we just finish with the flexor digitorum superficialis, and then moving on to the flexor digitorum profundus.
Can you hear us yesterday when they picked up the